We have some amazing news regarding Pokémon GO. It looks like remote trading is finally coming to the game. The reason why I say that is because some data miners have uncovered some code that indicates that remote trading is soon going to be a possibility. I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokémon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So, remote trading. This is something that players have been asking for quite some time, pretty much since the beginning, and the reason for that is because trading is such an integral part of Pokémon GO, but it's extremely difficult for you to engage in trades. The reason why I say that is because with trading as it currently is, you basically have to be exactly near the person you're trading with, and then you need to coordinate and do a lot of communication. It's just a huge hassle, but it's extremely important that you're constantly trading your Pokemon. Not only are you re-rolling IVs, but if you were to trigger lucky trades, you could get yourself Shundos and 100% IVs of every single Pokemon. It's incredibly important that you're constantly trading, but because of the system as it currently is, it's incredibly difficult to trade with anyone unless you're lucky enough to have a friend to trade with pretty much living with you. So yeah, I really do think there was a lot of issues with trading over the years. I think trading in and of itself is a really cool idea, and it's something that's essential for Pokemon GO. But yeah, because they have not added any kind of functionality that allows you to trade with your friends around the world, it essentially is a system that a lot of players tend to neglect. But it looks like that's going to change, because with recent data mined info, it seems to indicate that remote trading is now going to be a thing. Now, I think it goes without question why this is such a big deal, because trading is probably the best way for you to get 100% IVs of Pokemon. Like, when it comes to lucky trades, your chances are extremely high, especially compared to every other method for getting 100% IVs. And considering this is a collection-based game, players are always looking to get Shundos of different Pokemon. And that's going to be a lot easier now. You're going to be able to do remote trades around the world, and that means for all of your lucky friends who are living in areas where you're probably never going to visit them, you're now finally going to be able to trade with those friends, presumably if you have a lot of player choice with this new remote trading feature. I'm guessing that it's going to be something they will monetize, very similar to the Lucky Trinket. I think once they release the Go Pass with the Lucky Trinket, it just opened up a lot of doors for them to do a lot of different things, like, for example, hyper training, and now possibly with remote trading. I cannot imagine they're just going to let you freely remote trade with everyone around the world. I do believe there's going to be some sort of gatekeeping. It's likely going to require some sort of item that you will need to get through a Go Pass. There's going to be players who will want to remote trade. There's going to be players who are willing to spend money on it. So naturally, Niantic and Scopely, they're going to want to monetize it, and I do believe that's what's going to be the case right here. But regardless of that, I really love the functionality of being able to remote trade because, like I said, everything with trading is so important. Like, if you're constantly playing Pokemon GO, if you're constantly collecting legendaries and mythicals, well, mythicals you can't even trade, but let's say you're collecting a whole bunch of shinies and you want to trade those to other players for different shinies or even the same shiny in order to re-roll the IVs, it's usually really hard to do that unless you have a set number of players that you see every day. And yeah, I think this opens up a lot of doors for players who live in rural areas, people who live in more isolated areas to be able to trade with their friends. And overall, I think this is just a really good move. It just seems to be following this line that Niantic is making a lot of design decisions as of late that is actually stuff that players have been asking for. I said this in another video, but ever since Niantic got bought up by Scopely, it just seems like they're decoupling themselves from this philosophy of constantly doing outdoor-based gameplay and all this community-based gameplay, which I will say is important, which I will say is really good for the game. But they've always been swinging the pendulum way too far to one side, and I really do think that for them to add functionality like this into the game, it just creates a much better user experience. And yeah, I'm completely on board with this. I think remote trading is going to be a really good thing for Pokemon Go, and I'm excited to see what other functionalities they're going to release. And then in regards to remote trading, we obviously do not have a lot of information regarding how it's going to work or if it's going to be something we will need to pay for, but I'm sure we're going to start to see a lot more data mined info regarding this feature get released over time, and we're gonna have a much better idea by the time they make the official announcement. And I have to say, this is all data mined info. It's stuff we have to take with a grain of salt. Even if they add lines of code regarding this functionality, it could be something that they put on the back burner and then we do not address it for another couple of years. That is definitely a possibility. They probably have their priorities set on a whole bunch of stuff that is coming to Pokemon Go. And there's even stuff like hyper training, which with hyper training, it may not necessarily be a thing where trading is necessary to begin with, because the whole reason why players trade nowadays is not necessarily to complete their Pokedexes, it's mainly so that they could reroll IVs. And if you have something like hyper training in the game, then maybe rerolling IVs through trading is not always going to be necessary. So maybe Niantic is aware of that, and that is the reason why they're adding lines of code for it right now, but it's going to be something that they're not going to visit until much later. That is always something we have to keep in mind. But regardless of that, this is all really good stuff. I'm really happy that Niantic is going in this direction because it's about time. I feel like for the last several years, Niantic has been at odds against the Pokemon Go community. Just everything that the Pokemon Go community has been suggesting or have been wanting for Pokemon Go, they've been always going the complete opposite direction. But nowadays, it seems like they're aligning themselves with the Pokemon Go community, and I think it's a really good thing. So yeah, I'm really happy about this. I think it's all really exciting stuff, but we'll just have to keep our ears to the ground to see how this all pans out. And I really hope it ends up being something really good. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Are you excited for remote trading? Do you feel like it's going to be a really good thing for Pokemon Go? Or do you feel like the game just simply does not need it? And if they were to monetize it, let me know what you would end up paying if you wanted to do some remote trades. Definitely share those thoughts and let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be insightful. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget the notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And with all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.